Hi learners, happy to see you all in this video lecturing. So in this video lecturing, we are going to discuss about data models. Data models is one of the important topic in database management system. Here we are just going to learn how we can design the databases using the predefined set of models. Okay, so let's start with some of the description about data model. We'll try to understand more about data model, and then we'll move on to the types of data models. Okay, so first of all, the data model. So model, maybe you might be knowing what is a model. Model is just a thing used as an example to follow or imitate. It's a kind of prototype or a stereotype. Okay, so here in the database management system, before you start developing any database or before you start designing any table, and then we need to thoroughly understand what are the models are prescribed or what are the prototypes and stereotypes are available, or it is recommended in the relational database management system models. Okay, so the relational database management system, there are certain models are given. Based on that model, if you design our databases or the table, that will be very perfect. Okay, so here in the data model, it is generally we used to say this actually describes the structure of your databases. Okay, so all logical relations, everything you can understand using the data model. And here in the types of data model, basically we classify into three different model types. As you can see in the slide, high level or conceptual data model, and representational or implementation data model or record based data model, and the third one is low level or physical data model. Okay, so under the high level or conceptual data model, we are going to discuss about what is entity relationship model and object data model. And again, in the second type, representational or implementation data model or record based data model, there are three different types of data model we are going to discuss: a relational model, network model, and hierarchical model. Okay, so in the low level or physical data model, we are not going to discuss much because it is dependent on your the system or your operating system. Okay, so that we'll see elaborately in the subsequent slides. So let's discuss about what is a data model and or where exactly we are using the data model. Okay, so data model generally defines the logical design and structure of your database and defines how data will be stored, accessed, and updated in a database management system. Okay, this is the main objective of studying this data model. Okay, so what are the data model we are going to study? So all the data model, the generally it is meant for yeah, describing the logical design. Okay, so before we make it a physical data model or physical databases, and before we create a exact database in the system, we need to create a logical design. Okay, so then we need to understand the structure, entire structure of the database, how many tables are there, and each and every table, how you are going to relate or connect from one table to the other table, and what are the data type, and then what is the size of the particular field or attribute in the table. So everything we know we need to clearly define, right? So based on this data model, what you can do, will be able to all these type of the ideas. Okay, so here the structure of the database and how data will be stored, that is how you are going to store the data and how you are going to access the data and how you are going to update in the database management system. Okay, for storing, accessing, and updating in the database management system, we are just going to use different type of SQL language, that is category of SQL language. That means data manipulation language, data definition language, data control language. Okay, so it's a type of or a division of your SQL statement. Okay, so here the data model is said to be a collection of concept that can be used to describe the structure of a database. So that is the key point here. So it is just going to describe the structure of the database. That is what we said. See, before you start developing any databases, you should thoroughly understand, and you should know in each and every detail about what you are going to do. Okay, so for before you create the original database, we need to understand the concept, right? So for that only, we try to understand this type of data model. Okay, so here in the structure of the databases, what are the main things are available? So in the databases, as you know, the database will be comprised of one or more tables. Okay, so in the table, when you give or when you design your table, in the table there will be field or attributes. Okay, so it will be set of columns will be there, right? So in the set of columns, for each and every column or each and every field, we have to give the data type. Okay, so data type as well as the what is the size of the particular field. Okay, for example, integer or varchar or date or whatever. Okay, so there we have to clearly specify the size also, right? Then other thing is relationship. That is when you create more number of table, and then we need to relate one table with the other table. Okay, we discussed this particular relationship model in the relationship that is data model that we are going to study later. And here a single table cannot function on its own. Okay, cannot be independently function. Okay, so it is based on the module or based on the table that you are going to create. Each and every table should be related with the other table. Okay, so it will be a integral, that is united of all the table. Okay, so here when you create your table or each and every field, most of the time you will be giving some constraints also. Constraints is nothing but the conditions. Okay, then semantics, what is the meaning or what is the representation that you are going to make in the particular field or particular attribute, that we should be very clear. Okay, so then what is the operational behavior, right? So when you work in the particular table or in the database, when you give certain queries, what is the response and how it is going to work, right? So those type of details will describe in the data model, right? So the other point is, it is a structure that demonstrates all the required features of the parts of the real world. See, as you know, whatever the database or whatever the application you are going to create, that is actually going to imitate your real world scenario, right? So in the real world, what is happening and what you find as an object or what you find as an the manual communication from one object to the other object. So everything will be try to understand, right? So here, those ideas will be implementing in the form of data models. Okay, the structure that demonstrates all the required features of the parts of the real world, right? Then representation and reflection of the real world. So it is so obvious whenever we create any databases or whenever we create any application, so we are just trying to solve the real world problems. Okay, so when you find the real world problem, then based on the real world activities, functionalities only, we are just going to imitate it. Okay, so it is a tool for data abstraction. So that is also we can add for data model. Okay, so let's discuss about a simple example here. So a library management system, for example, if you take a library management system, or if you're trying to develop a library management system software, and then for that software, if you try to design a database, okay, so how you will approach, right? So here this is what we try to say, it's a real world application, right? So the library management system, so we use it in the real world, right? So day-to-day life we use it, right? So here for that, when you try to develop a software, maybe these are the things we need to understand, right? So here, what are the main functions are there, right? First we need to understand who are all going to use your library management system, right? What are the functionalities are associated, right? So everything we need to clearly understand, right? So here, the search for media based one or more of the following criteria. So what is the type, what are the type of objects are available in the library? For example, book will be available, videos will be available, magazines will be available. Okay, so in the book you can say reference books are available, right? So there are no different categories of books are available. So those things you can identify, right? So when you take a book and you need to describe the particular properties also. What is the title, who is the author, year of publication, everything. Okay. So suppose if you are going to access your particular account, and then the account details, you have the card number, is there any fines are there? Okay, fine amount, and then media currently checked out. So those type of the things are there. And here in the functionality wise, you can see adding the customer. Okay, so adding the library cards and assign them to customers. So then check out media, manage and transfer media that is currently on hold. So media in the sense what type of book you are taking, or what type of, whether you are taking a CDs or any other format of object or material from the library. Okay, so what particular object you have taken. For example, if you're taking a book, that is also one type of media you can add here, right? So likewise, we'll try to understand how we are doing in the manual process. Okay, so based on this, what you can do, you can design databases using the data model, right? And here maybe for the previous one, you can have this type of ER diagram. ER diagram we are going to discuss in the next few slides. That is entity relationship diagram. Okay, so first, we say this is the entity. Entity is nothing but the object. Okay, so what are the objects that you're finding in the real world application? You can make it as an object or entity. Here in the entity relationship diagram, we call it as an entity, and each and every entity will be having set of attributes. Okay, and for example, here you have the book, and then ISBN, year, author. These are the attributes of book. And then here for video, you have year, title, rating. These are the attributes of the video. And when you have more number of objects in the system, the objects cannot function on its own. That means it cannot be a function ideally, okay, independently. So we need to collaborate one object with the other object. Okay, so for that, say here you can see we have the media and location, card, customer, librarian. Okay, these are the main status. These are the main objects that you can find, or these are the main entities you can find in the ER diagram. Okay, and for each and every entity, you have set of attributes are related. Okay, then from this one attribute to the other attribute, you will be making a relationship. Okay, so this diamond symbol is representing a relationship. Okay, so likewise you can see in the entire ER diagram, right? So we'll just talk much on this in the when we discuss about the ER diagram, right? So what is the symbol we are using? Okay, how you can draw the entities, and what are the types of entities are there? Okay, so everything we are going to discuss when we discuss about the entity relationship model diagram. Okay, and here as we said, there are three main types of data models are there. The first one is high level or conceptual data model. Okay, the high level or conceptual data model. Conceptual is nothing physically present. Okay, so everything it is you are just having everything in your mind, right? The ideas, right? So how you can create your data models, right? So only the conceptual thing, based on the conceptual idea or the theoretical basis, just you will create a data model. Okay, so here in the conceptual data model, use concepts such as entities, attributes, and relationship. In the high level, this is mainly to understand the real world application, or what we are trying to create as a database. Okay, for example, if you are trying to create a library management system in the database format, and then this particular high level or conceptual data model is used to understand or analyze the system. Okay, so we need to first understand completely, so how the system is functioning. Okay, so then only we can make a related or equivalent databases, right? So for that, we need this particular high level or conceptual data model. And here in the high level or conceptual data model, ER diagrams or ER entity relationship models are mainly used. Okay, so one more, we have object data model that we are going to discuss later. Now, for in the entity relationship model, we use the term entity. It represents a real world object or a concept. Okay, so for suppose if you take a library information system, there book, librarian, student. Okay, and then videos, CDs, okay, magazines, anything that you there, that you find in the library, you can consider it as an entity. Okay, then next is an attribute. So maybe you would have studied in object-oriented concepts. Each and every object will be having certain set of attributes. Okay, so attribute is nothing but the characteristics or properties of the particular object. Okay, so here represents some property of interest that further describes an entity, such as an employee's name or salary. Suppose if you, in the employee database, suppose if you take employee as a, the entity, and the employee will be having registration number, name, and then address, date of birth, everything. Okay, so that we call as an attribute, right? So then a relationship, as I said, when you are going to create a database model, a single entity cannot function independently, right? So it has to collaborate, or it has to interact with other remaining set of entities. Okay, so there we represent in the form of relationship, right? So among two or more entities represents an association among the entities. For example, works on relationship between an employee and project. Okay, that we are going to discuss now. And physical data model, as I said, here it is a low level or internal data model. That is, it describes how exactly whatever the data you have created, or whatever the table or database you have created, so how it is written physically in the hard disk, okay, or in the computer. So which computer we are using in the computer, how it is physically stored. Okay, so how physically written, which format it takes, right? So those type of details. But again, it is actually vendor specific. So we are not discussing much on how the particular physical model is written on the databases, that is in the hard disk. Okay, so it provides a concept that describes details of how data is stored in the computer. These are usually specified in the Hadoop manner. Okay, there are some system, that is relational database management system software specific format only it is handled. Okay, so through database management system design and administration manuals, right? And then the next category is implementation or representation data model. So here, so how you are going to implement, in which data model you are going to implement or represent the entire data. Okay, so this is one of the important model we generally use to create our databases, right? So here they provide the concept that fall between the above two. That means it lies in between your conceptual or high level data model and to the physical data model. Okay, so then it is used to many commercial database management system implementations. So here we are going to discuss some of the main implementation or representation data models. Okay, now this is what you can understand somewhat using this diagram. So here the end user view, or the end user view, maybe external model and external model. So otherwise the high level model. Okay, so where the end user will just look at your database, entire database, from the perspective of your external model only. Okay, so how it is the external objects are designed. Okay, so we discussed about ER model, right? So based on that only, the internal, the end user will just view the particular database, right? And then this is actually what we call as a conceptual model, the high level model. Okay, so where the designers will look into this particular database design in the form of conceptual or high level, right? And then there next comes to the internal model or the representational model. Okay, so here the database management system view. That means here only you are going to exactly design your tables and databases, right? And then you are going to create the relationship also, right? So between these two, you have the logical independence. Okay, so the conceptual and logical independence, that means you can create the internal model based on your interest. Okay, then physical independence, that is whatever the internal mode represented, in the same way you are going to write in the physical model. As I said, in the physical model, it is actually vendor specific. And to understand more on data model, a data model described by the schema, which is held in the data dictionary. So we already spoke about what is a schema. It is nothing but the structure of your table or the database. Okay, so here you can see the customer name, area, city. There are three field or attributes are given for the customer. Okay, and then account number, and balance. There are two attributes are given for the account, right? So here, this two data models, that is these two details can be converted into this particular format. Okay, so customer name, area, city, and then account number, and balance. Okay, so this how we'll know, we'll just try to convert into data model format. Okay. And this is one more example to understand ER diagram. That is, you have the customer and account. The customer account two entities are connected or provided with the relationship depositor. Okay, the customer will be the depositor into the account. Okay, right. So again, the customer will be having set of attributes, and then account is also having set of attributes. Okay, so this is how we will try to segregate and draw the ER diagram. And here in the ER model diagram, it comes in the high level or conceptual data model. And here you have the entity sets. Okay, so in the entity set, collection of entities such as customer and account, and then database can be modeled as a collection of entities. Okay, entity, as I told you, it is representing an object in the real world problem. Okay, so here in the when you group a set of entities with similar kind, then you can call it as an entity set. Okay, so entity is an object that exists and distinguishable from all other objects. So you can see specific person, company, event, plant, so everything you can consider as an entity. And entity set is a set of entities of the same type, okay, that share the same properties. For example, set of all person, companies, trees, holidays. Okay, if a set of entities are in similar in nature, then you can make it as an entity set. Okay, and then next comes to the attribute. As I told you already, so each and every object will be having set of attributes. Okay, so an entity is represented by a set of attributes, that is a descriptive properties processed by all members of an entity set, right? So example, you can see here, customer, if you say a customer is an object, and this customer will be having the attributes customer name, social security number, customer street, and customer city. And similarly, for account object or entity, you have the attributes account number and balance. Okay, so then the domain, a set of permitted values for each attribute. So suppose if you say customer name, and if you have any constraint, so that we call as a domain. That means the permitted values. Okay, so social security number may be a range or maybe a permitted characters or whatever, right? So whatever the permitted values for each and every attribute, that you can call as a domain. Okay, then in the attribute itself, we have different type of attributes. Okay, so in the data model, you can use this different attribute types: simple and composite attributes, single valued and multi-valued attributes, null attributes, and derived attributes. Okay, so when the attribute values are very single value, then you can say it is a simple attribute. Okay, it is a composite. Suppose if your attribute is composition of more than one value or more than one data, then you can say it is a composite attribute. Okay, so single valued and multi-valued attribute. Some data will be having only one single value, and some data will be having multi-valued. Okay, so some data attributes will be, you can permit with null attributes. If you are allowing null values, then it is null attribute. Then derived attribute is also there. So in the derived attribute, you will be deriving a new attribute or new value from the already existing attribute. Okay, then so here the weak entity set. Suppose if you are making as an entity set, and if you don't have the proper primary key values or anything else, then you can call it as a weak entity set, right? So an entity set that does not have a primary key is referred to as a weak entity set, right? So the existence of a weak entity set depends on the existence of a strong entity set, right? So suppose if you are going to group more number of entities in a single group, and if there are certain entities doesn't have a proper primary key, then you can make it as a weak entity set. Okay, again, the weak entity set has to be related with the a strong entity set value. Okay, the discriminator, that is a partial of your this a weak entity set, is a set of attributes that distinguishes among all the entities of a weak entity set. Okay, so maybe a weak entity set is a set of attributes that distinguishes among all the entities of a weak entity set. So whatever the weak values or set of attributes you have, that will be splitted. Okay, so here a weak entity set is depicted by double rectangles. There are some notations are given or followed in the entity relationship model that we are going to discuss, right? So here in the entity relationship model, you can use this notation also. This is the alternative way. So here you have the rectangle box, painter, and the painting, the another attribute, another entity. Okay, so you have two entities here, painter and painting, and these two entities are connected with paints. Okay, so here how you can understand this. So there are different, the relationship model cardinality you can fix here. In the cardinality, one to many, many to many, one to one. Okay, so the one to many relationship, what you can do is the object relationship will be only one to one. That is one to many, right? For example, here one painter paints many painting. Okay, so that is how you can read, right? So here many employee learns many skills. Okay, this symbol is just used as n for our understanding. Okay, again it is many to many, right? Again, so here one employee manages one store. Okay, so in this way you can understand. So this particular entity relationship model, ERM, was introduced in the year 1976 by Peter Cheng, right? It is widely accepted and adopted graphical tool for data modeling, and then graphical representation of entities and their relationship in a database structure. Okay, so maybe, so whatever the entity and whatever the attribute, everything you are going to give in this model will be just following the database structure. That is the points in the entity relationship model. And here entity relationship model, this is another way of representing your entity relationship model. So you can use this box also, that is painter paints painting, the same thing what we discussed previously. So you are using some different notations in this particular symbol. Okay, so here entity relationship diagram is a graphical representation to model database components. Okay, so entities mapped to a relational table, and here entity instance or occurrence a row in the table. Okay, so collection of like entities, entity set. So these are the points we have already discussed. So this is another way of representing or drawing your entity relationship model diagram. And there in this particular notation, we have different symbols we are using, and you can see here there are no, so this particular symbol is used, and this is one symbol, and this is also another symbol used. Okay, so here the ring represents 0, dash represents 1, and then crowfoot represents more or many. Okay, so you can see here ring represents, this is actually a ring, that means 0. Okay, so crowfoot represents more or many, that means what? 0 or more, or 0 or many. Okay, in this way you can understand here. And then if it is a dash represents 1, right? So if it is dash and dash only, so that is exactly 1. Okay, if it is 2 dash are there, it is exactly 1, right? So in this way also you can draw the ER model diagrams. That is ring and dash 0 or 1, and then dash and dash exactly 1, ring and crowfoot 0 or more, and dash and crowfoot 1 or more. Okay, so likewise you can draw the diagram. So this the symbols or notations we use to draw the entity relationship diagram. Here for entity, it is a rectangle, and then it is a double rectangle weak entity, relationship diagonal diamond symbol, and here double diamond symbol. So likewise, you can see here. So if it is this oval shape with the attribute underline, that represent the primary key, right? So in the relationship, you have the R represent the relation, and here if it is both the end or without any arrow mark, or if it is just a simple line, then it represents many to many. If it is exactly one and one arrow mark on both the side, it is one to one relationship. Okay, so here in the relationship on the above, the relationship and between the entity, if you specify any name, that represents the role name. Okay, so this is a total generalization, easier relationship. Okay, and similarly here the the oval shape without any underlining or anything, then you can say it is an attribute. It's a double oval shape, multi-valued attribute, and then dotted oval shape, derived attribute. Okay, so if it is double line, total participation of entity set in relationship. Okay, so like you know what you can do, you can just understand here, right? So here relationship one to many, cardinality limits 1 to 1, 1 to many. Okay, similar to that. And this is the diagram how you can draw a ER diagram for a particular domain. Okay, so here in this example, just for banking enterprise, this ER diagram is taken, and here you can see the entities are represented with the rectangle, and all the oval shapes are represented with the attribute, and you can see here customer ID with underline. That means it is a primary key. Okay, so like we said, whatever the symbol we have just discussed in the previous slide, you can apply here, and then you can have a relationship between one entity to the other entity, right? So in this way, what you can do, you can draw a complete ER diagram for your domain. Okay, so this, as I said already, so when you draw the ER diagram, you'll be understanding the entire relationship, and then entire object, and then entire attribute set. Okay, so everything, how it is communicating, right? So it is a clear, it is actually providing you a clear understanding to create your tables and database. Okay, that is the main objective of drawing this diagram. So that is why we call this as a high level or conceptual level databases. Okay, the next model in the high level or the conceptual is the object oriented data model. So this object oriented model mainly uses or implements based on object oriented programming concepts. Okay, we generally call as OOPS concept. Okay, in the OOPS concept, maybe you would have studied about OOPS in C++. That is starting with the class, object, abstraction, encapsulation. Okay, so inheritance, polymorphism, right? So many things, many concepts you have studied. So for all the concepts and ideas, mainly you can implement in this diagram model. Okay, so here you can see the ER model diagram. The previous, you have the customer, and then invoice, and then line. Okay, so here this actually the ER model representation we have discussed previously, right? The same ER model representation can be represented in the model in the name of object-oriented data model. Okay, so both diagrams are giving you the same meaning, but the representation is different, right? So here the invoice, customer, and then line. Okay, so you have the one customer is you has many line items. Okay, and then invoice is also prepared for based on the customer. Okay, so this is how you can draw or understand the high level data model or the conceptual data model. Okay, so the object described by its factual content and includes information about relationship between facts within object and relationship with other objects. Okay, so whatever you are representing in the ER model, the same thing you can represent with the object oriented model. Okay, so provided maybe you can include the additional OOPS concepts also, OOPS concept based notations also. So here the object oriented data model, it is actually a semantic data model and basis of object oriented database management system, and evolved to allow an object to also contain all operations. So as I said already, it is purely based on object-oriented concept. Okay. So here, to describe what is object, it is abstraction of the real-world entity, and the object will be having set of attributes, the properties of an object, and class, objects that share similar attributes or characteristics. Okay. So it is just a classification. So the object with a similar nature will be classified as a classes. Okay. So classes are organized in a class hierarchy. So based on that only we are going for inheritance. Okay, so inheritance or maybe the superclass and subclass, everything we decide based on the class hierarchy, right? So inheritance, object within the class hierarchy inherits the attributes and methods of the class. Okay, then the specialization, this is a top-down design process. In the specialization, you can see here, suppose if we take an account, okay, the account, specialized account, there will be a saving account and checking account. Okay, so this saving account and checking account will be your derived class, and whereas the account will be in the base class. Okay, so when you going for the in the top down design approaches, the top level you have the more generalized one, and in the below level or the next level you'll be having your more specialized. Okay, so suppose if you have the checking account, in the checking account you have the standard, gold, and senior, something like that. Okay, so in this way you can split up the hierarchy. And in the hierarchical model, this is another data model we are studying. This is actually the representational model. In the hierarchical model, the whatever the table we are going to design will be in the form of hierarchy. Okay, so it just using in the first level, second level, third level, something like that. Okay, so this particular structure of your database, it uses the hierarchical way. Okay, this particular model was developed in the year 1960s, right? So on the other things are how you are create how you are just deciding the object and attribute, everything will be similar to the previous model. Okay, and the hierarchical model, maybe you can see in this example, suppose if it is a college and then department, and then college you have the hierarchically infrastructure, and again here course, teachers, student, theory, and labs. Okay, so suppose if your real world object or application is in this type of hierarchical fashion, then you can design your table according to this particular hierarchical model. So this is one of the important representational model or the implementation model we have in the database management system. So relational model. Okay, so based on this idea only, we are using relational database management system. Okay, so here maybe with this particular point we have discussed in the introduction class itself. And here when you have more number of table, then you have to relate one table with the other table. Okay, so from one table to the other table, for as we discussed in the ER diagram, so one object is having relationship with the other object. Okay, similarly the same type of relationship we convert in the representational model in the form of relational model, where you are going to connect one table with the other table. Okay, so here in the table, when you're going to link or connect from one table with the other table, so you will be using some primary key and then foreign key concept. Okay, so that we have discussed in the previous slides. Okay, and here the relational model table, so also called relations, and it will be in the matrix of rows and column interactions or intersections, and stores a collection of similar entities. Okay, it's all basic idea for a table, right? So then it is purely logical structure. So there are whatever the data you are storing here, it is all logically related. That is how data are physically stored is of no concern to the user of the design. Okay, this is what your relational model, the other representation. You have the two relational model, or the and attributes are there. So there agent is one set of attributes are there, and for the customer is also one set of attributes there. Okay, so in the here agent code, and here it is agent code. Okay, so using this agent code, you are making a relationship between these two databases or in the tables. Okay, so entities are converted as a table, and attributes within those entities are field, and relationship between those entities are link. Okay, so whatever the entity you have find out, those entities are converted in the form of table, and what are the attributes that will be formed as in the form of the field, attributes will be in the form of field. Okay, and here relational model, it is all the system components. You have the user interface table and everything you can use here, and then perform same basic functions. So it is actually based on the hierarchical network. So everything we can implement here. Okay, so most important, it hides the complexity of the relational model from the user. The next comes the network model. So it is just the point here is the data model. It uses a certain structure of table to connect with each other. Okay, so based on the structure only, just we are going to give the name, whether it is relational database model or the network database model or the hierarchical database model. Okay, so in the network model, the whatever the table or whatever the entity you are connecting, that will be in the form of network. Okay, so here there are with small restrictions only. So here you can see product invoice, and this will be your invoice line, and then sales rep, customer, invoice, and payment. So it will just resembles like your computer network, right? So it is resembles the hierarchical model again, and the different child can have multiple parents. That is the only difference here, right? So the collection of records in one-to-many relationship, right? So again, you can see here in the network model, you have the owner and member. So in the owner is equivalent to the hierarchical model parent. Okay, so where from the owner, the child or the member will be getting or sharing the data, right? So here the member equivalent to the hierarchical model child. So network model terms, this is actually basics of table we have studied. What is a schema? It describes the structure of your table or the database. It is a conceptual organization of your entire database. Okay, so then suppose if you are going for subschema, it is how you are seeing the table in the application program. Okay, so maybe the entire schema will not be there in the application program. Suppose if you are seeing a portion of your table, then you can call it as a subschema. Okay, so schema definition language, as we said already, in the SQL structured query language, based on the utilization, we classify or we categorize into different type of languages. Okay, the subcategories, that is data definition language, data manipulation language. Here in the network model, we use the data definition language there to define the databases. Okay, to define the structure and to create the table, right? So to alter the table, everything you can do it here in the data definition language, and to create and then other things you can do with the data manipulation language. Okay, so this is the another example where you can see the network based data model, where you have the store, customer, manager, salesman, item, and order. Okay, so each and every entity, the square boxes represent the entities, and these entities are connected by means of a relationship. Okay, so this actually the another example to understand the network model. Okay, thank you. Hi learners, please subscribe to my channel and also press bell icon for latest video updates. Please do not forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you.